Hey guys, it's been a bit of a top while since we've had a video. Been moving house to the Gippsland Lakes to retire. So I've been a bit busy lately, but we thought we'd kick off with a new install video. Our boat lives on the water most of the time these days, and during the winter it can be a bit prone to getting mould in the cabin, so we thought we'd install a solar vent. I've decided to go with the Marinco solar vent, much better quality. The cheap ones you can get for about 80 to 100 bucks. But their solar panels are really small and they don't have a battery, which means they only really run when the sun's really bright. Whereas these things here have a rechargeable battery. The solar panels are about 5 times the size and they run 24 hours a day, moving quite a large amount of air through the cabin, keeping that mold problem away. But the quality of these things, I'll give you a bit of a look at it. So that's the unit there. As you can see, a really large solar panel. It's got quite a bit of space to get through a thick cabin roof, although with a trellis, so that won't be an issue. It's got a light on the bottom, which emergency light you might call it. Has both forward and reverse, so it can either blow air into the cabin or it can suck air out of the cabin, which is a great feature as well. Like I say, a rechargeable battery, runs 24 hours a day, and claims to move about 1,000 cubic meters of air a day, every 24 hours. So pretty substantial amount of air going through. And like I say, gives you nice fresh air when you're sailing anyway, because it's a silent unit, you can hardly hear it. You can even have it running all night and you won't even notice it. Yeah, let's see how we go. So we're going to install the vent in the rear section of the main cabin's roof. That's cool. That's the place where it won't get in the way, and it'll also create a nice flow through from the boat, because the front hatch, which you can't see up there, can be left open but locked in a little crack to let air in. So the air will go through that vent, through that hatch should I say, up to the vent here through the main cabin to create a nice clean air circulation and hopefully reduce that mould. But it should be good. And the reason we don't want to, the reason we're installing a vent is if you look at our boat next door, which has been neglected for a few years, good source of black mould, so we want to try and make sure that our boat doesn't end up looking the same. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to install this unit in the, let's say, the rear third of the main cabin here. There's no wires between the Samson post here and the light here, which means all this part of the roof is clear as well, so we've already checked all that. The solar light will actually come down through here. There is actually a part of the solar light that sticks down into the cabin, so sticks down. This part of the solar light will stick down in the cabin, so you have to put it somewhere where you're not going to hit your head on it as well. So in this position here, it's out of the way. It will actually give you exhaust from the galley over here as well. If the door's open, it will suck air in the door, but if the door's closed, as it is when it's in storage, it will suck air from the front cabin all the way through the cabin and out through the vent here. What we've done is we've just used the gasket that comes with the vent, and we've marked the center point on the ceiling here, and we're going to drill a hole up through the roof. Okay, so because we've got a carpet lined ceiling here, we need to remove the carpet before we use the hole saw on it. So what we're going to use this hole saw as a template. We've drilled the hole at our mark where the unit's going to be centered. Just put the hole saw into the hole, and we're going to draw a line around it. So I've got my able-bodied assistant here cutting out a carpet circle out of the ceiling where we're going to install this exhaust vent. It is fairly important to get rid of the carpet, otherwise the hole saw will grab it and rip holes in the carpet around it. But it's a bit of a tricky job to cut away the carpet in a nice circle without lifting the rest of the carpet surrounding. Okay, so we're going to now just use the hole saw to cut a little bit of the from underneath, because we're going to do the main cutting from above, but it's always good to make a bit of a cut from underneath first. Very careful without disturbing the carpet too much. It's probably enough. All right, so we're cutting through the roof for the hole for the solar vent. 4 3/4 inch hole saw. You can get them from Bunnings. There we go. Video it. Well, I am videoing it. So There we go, there's the plug out of the ceiling. You can see the ceiling's actually made of a fiberglass foam sandwich, which is actually quite good quality, better than I thought. Thought it was actually wood on the RL, but it's not, it's actually a foam sandwich. This flange installs into the ceiling like that, and the unit actually screws into it like a screw port. You can remove the unit and actually put a cap in, which I've ordered, to make just into a port so you can have a nice flat deck to store things if you need to. So very, very versatile, this unit. It's actually the only one that allows you to pull it out of the hole when you don't need it and replace it with a cap so that it gives you a flush deck. Now these units can only tolerate a certain amount of deck curvature. It's about 6mm either side of a foot straight edge, which the top of the cabin here is just within that sort of thing, so they should be okay. But just to make sure that the unit will screw into this threaded deck plate, I'm going to screw it down first before I silicone it in place to make sure that the unit will actually thread in correctly and seal properly. Okay, we're going to see whether or not the unit will screw into the threaded deck plate. There we go, seems to be going in okay. Should put some silicone grease on this. Okay, so that's our solar vent screwed in. Everything seems to be sitting reasonably. There will be a gap either side because the roof's actually curved. But it seals onto the deck plate in the middle, so it should keep the inside of the boat dry. And we're going to take it off now, silicone the actual deck plate, and we'll finish off on the inside and the install will be done. So all we need to do now is clean up the deck surface with a bit of methylated spirits. Never do this with Sikaflex, by the way, because methyl and Sikaflex do not mix. It will stop the Sikaflex from setting permanently. But with marine silicone, not a problem. The methyl is quite good for cleaning the deck surface to make sure it's clean, it will stick properly. Clean around the hole for the deck plate. Make sure it's good and clean. Let it dry off, and then we'll silicone down the deck plate, ready for the solar vent. So we're now just going to silicone the deck plate on. We'll put a nice bead of silicone around now, and we'll screw it down. We're now just going to use silicone to seal it onto the deck. Lining up the holes, making sure we don't get silicone on the threads. And we'll screw down the deck plate again, not too hard, just enough to bed the silicone properly. Alright, so we're going to install the solar vent now. Lining up the thread can be a bit awkward though, something I wasn't aware of before when I bought it. Feels like it's screwing in now. Yeah, it is. It's screwing in now. Okay. Does that look okay? Yeah, I think so. Alright, that's looking pretty good. I reckon that looks pretty good actually. There we go. That's our solar vent in place. Alright, so that's our solar vent done on the outside. I'll give you a bit of a look. It's come up quite well. So you can see the curvature of the deck actually makes a slight gap here, but the gasket allows for a bit of compression in the middle. And about the same amount of gap on this side, but that's okay, because that doesn't actually seal anything from coming into the cabin. The central O-ring that goes onto the deck plate itself that actually seals the water coming in. And now we'll go inside and have a bit of a look on the inside and finish off the last little bit there. Okay, so this is what the solar vent looks like from the inside now that it's screwed in place. You have the internal flange that will go on to the unit there. We'll do that up. That makes a nice little trim. Alright, so if we're looking up, You can see
It's up at the moment. You need to pull it down.
the fan unit. Right. The one advantage of these Marinco units is that they've got a green water shut-off, so while this flange is pulled down, the unit's open to air and airflow. But if you're going out in the rough seas and such and you want to have a green water shut-off, all you do is push that up and it shuts the unit off to green water entry.
Turning the fan on.
So we'll leave that open though. And you can see the fan running up there. That will run 24 hours a day and create a lovely fresh airflow into the cabin. And if you listen very carefully, it's a very quiet unit. The other advantage of this particular unit too is that you can actually reverse the airflow. So this at the moment is blowing air in. You can also have it exhausting the air out as well. So you can do it either direction, which is great. And with its internal rechargeable battery, it will run 24 hours a day, keeping your boat well ventilated and hopefully mold free. And the unit also comes with a small LED light, so I don't think it'll do much in terms of illuminating your cabin well, but as an emergency backup light, it's always nice to have an extra little light in place. It also comes with the insect screen. So the insect screen locks in like that, and that's the complete install. And that's the installed solar vent there, humming away, keeping the cabin nice and continuously ventilated, so no more mold hopefully. We're really happy with the unit. I mean, it seems like a quality bit of kit, and with a bit of luck it will make a big difference to how mouldy this cabin gets and how fresh the air is when we're actually out sailing anyway. That's it there, out of the way. I can walk past it in every direction and it will go 24 hours a day, pumping nice fresh air through the cabin.